A very good afternoon and you're welcome to St Margarets in North Dublin, which is the venue for today's Dublin Ladies Club Junior and Intermediate Championship finals. While the rain has thankfully cleared up, conditions nonetheless are tricky here this afternoon for both showpieces, and the weather is sure to be a real leveller. It's greasy out there. We focus our attention initially on the junior final, which of course features Clontarf B and St Jude's. It's worth noting that the Jude's girls have the bragging rights from their victory in the group stages, and a comprehensive victory it was. That one actually finished 119 to 10 points over today's opponents. But finals are very often a different animal, of course, and with the greasy conditions out there and indeed the rain just beginning to fall in the last few seconds, it could indeed be a real leveller for today's match. I'm delighted to be joined in our commentary position on analysis by five-time Dublin All-Ireland winner and five-time All-Star winner, just for good measure. That's Skerries Harps Lindsay Davey. Lindsay, you'll have seen, I suppose, your fair share of club action in Dublin in recent months, but these sides, I've made the point that in the round robin game, Jude's obviously very comprehensive victors, but a couple of factors that might change that today to your mind.
Yeah, St Jude's, they've done very well in their group stages. They've had very comprehensive victories over their teams. Like I said, 119 to 10 against Clontarf the last day they're out. As well, with St Jude's, I think they've over 10 dual players, 10 players that would have won the senior camogie final only a couple of weeks ago. So with that strength that they have in the team and the experience, I think they're up against a very young Clontarf side, very fit, very fast, so they will cause issues for them. So yeah, I think we're in for a very interesting battle.
Some real experience. Just looking at that Jude's half forward line, you've got Aoife Rocket and Niamh Kerr there. Both of them seem to have been around for an eternity, and a credit to them in their mid and latter 30s that they're still giving the level of service they are to the club.
Yeah, and look, sometimes in big games they're the kind of players that you're going to look for. The experienced players, when things are tough, they'll be able to control it. But they have a lot of experienced players throughout their team, like Aoife Walsh, Hannah Hegarty. They're going to be big players. Aoife Keys as well in the middle of the park. They're going to be the key players that they're going to look for today.
There is no Kiva McGrath, of course. She is named on the bench, but realistically we're being told she may not feature. But somebody of that sort of experience is a loss for any side, regardless of the level of depth they have.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, this is where, when you have the strength in a panel, you need your kind of other key players to step up, and that's what it's all about on the big day, is everyone kind of coming together and putting in a big performance.
Lindsay, we'll talk about the intermediate showpiece in just a while, but in terms of, I suppose, the year that's been for Dublin, I suppose a shock in that All-Ireland final against Meath, and it gave ladies Gaelic football a great boost in Meath, but for yourselves as a group of players, I'm sure it was very much a bitter occasion.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we were very disappointed with our performance. Just one of those days that just didn't happen for us, but credit to me. Look, they're a fantastic side, and on the day they were the better team and they deserved to win. On
the club front, Skerries Harps, how would you assess the campaign, the season that's been?
Yeah, I think we've actually done very well, and we have a very kind of young up and coming team. Castleknock would have hammered us last year in the semi-final stages again, and this year we only lost them by 2 points last week, so you can kind of just see with the space of a year the development of the team, and I think it'd be very exciting for us going into next year.
Well, we'll bring you the teams in just a moment. We'd made the point that I suppose Aoife Keys captaining Jude's at centre field, very, very experienced indeed. Aoife Rocket, Niamh Kerr and Clean Nicoletti in the half forward line, and inside plenty of tussles to talk about as well. But I suppose, Lindsay, in terms of the winning and losing of today's game, are there any particular matchups that catch your eye in terms of the lineups, and both teams going as selected, which I suppose from a commentary perspective is welcome news for us?
Yeah, I suppose with Aoife Walsh, she's definitely someone that they're going to look for on the kickouts. They're going to push up, but I think the middle of the park could be a very big battle with Hannah Hegarty, Aoife Keys for St Jude's. I think Clontarf are going to need a big battle for that. They're going to really need to step up today to kind of counteract them.
There was, of course, that All-Ireland Intermediate Championship between the 17 and 18 seasons won by Clontarf, and there are a couple of campaigners like Caroline Roban, for example, that was around back then. The experience, I suppose, of training on the fringes with those players will have helped today's crop of players as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we said, we touched on it there, those experienced players are going to be what's going to drive on today. Clontarf seem to have a very young team, but like we like Caroline, Laura Burke and then Edel Nyland, they're going to be the ones that they're going to look at for those experience to kind of just drive them on and just keep things settle them and hopefully just drive the team on.
Lindsay Davey, we look forward to your input over the course of the afternoon, but now time to take a look at the teams that are entrusted by both sets of management to do battle. Interestingly, Jude's manager Jeff Kane is now in his fourth year in charge, and he's got an able backroom team there in Pauline Doherty, Mick Nerney, John Conlon, Joey Donnelly. Both of those, Conlon and Donnelly, will be familiar to fans of the men's game since both are active for their club, and Clara McGann is there as well. But in goal for the Jude's ladies this afternoon is 24-year-old Aoife McAuliffe. Laura Doherty is at right full back. Emily Brown there is a young full back at 22, and on her left a very young player indeed, and also a camogie star in Claire Gannon, her twin in reserve here this afternoon. Will she see action or not? We don't quite know as of yet. Aisling wearing number 20. Katrina Devlin is at right half back. Aoife Walsh at centre half back, and Niamh Murphy wearing 7 on the left. In the middle of the park, a powerful pairing of Hannah Hegarty and team captain 26-year-old Aoife Keys. Aoife Rocket lines out at right half forward. Niamh Kerr mans the centre half forward position with Cleana Nicoletti on the left. Inside, it's Lisa Morris, 18-year-old Ellie Young, who's still a secondary school student, interestingly, at Gael Kalash the Nafirsig, and Hannah Begley is at top of the left. Well, their opponents just engaging in their pre-match huddle. In the red, it's Clontarf B. Their goalkeeper this afternoon, interestingly, students aplenty in this Clontarf B side, as Lindsay Davey pointed out. A very young side and definitely players for the future, but they'll be hoping that today they've enough in the tank to cross the line and deliver a trophy. Rachel Smith in goal. Lizzie O'Callaghan is at right full back. Anne Shannon at full back. And Alice Marin is on the left. Kiva Hoy is at right half back. Ava Cunningham at centre half back. And Emer Mangan at left half back. The survivor of that All-Ireland intermediate win in 2018, and captain Caroline Roban, the primary school teacher, wears 8. Laura Burke wears 9. Aisling Moran is at right half forward. Edel Nyland at centre half forward, with Isabel Finnegan on the left. Grace Smith is at top of the right. Ciara O'Connor is at full forward, and top of the left today is Maeve Walsh. Well, on the bench they've got Kiva Troy, Sophie Farrelly, Emer Gibson and May Crane among others. Managed today by John Giles. He has Darren Lambert, Siobhan Farnham, Pascal McCaffrey and Brian Moran in reserve, assisting him as well. Our match referee, well, he's got an interesting CV indeed. And he is Ray McBride, affiliated to the Round Towers Club in Clondalkin, but he played football with New South Wales and won an All-Star over there in 2004, but he also lined out at full-back on the Dublin junior football team back in the day. So he's our official today, and here's hoping that Ray McBride is a peripheral figure in terms of today's contest. Interestingly, both these clubs established in 1996, and it's just about match time here. Unfortunately, the rain beginning to come down here in St Margarets in North Dublin, but nonetheless our throw in very much on schedule. And I noticed straight away that Niamh Kerr has gone into the middle of the park for the Jude's girls, as we observe a minute's silence. Aoife Keys moving out of centre field to accommodate Niamh Kerr. The 34-year-old is a radiation therapist and indeed a former Monaghan underage and senior star. She joined St Jude's in 2017, so Niamh Kerr very much primed for battle out in the middle of the park, and the referee content with the minute silence impeccably observed that play can commence here in St Margaret's in North Dublin. And straight away Hannah Hegarty on the offensive, looking for Kerr. It's scrappy out there and it's a difficult afternoon for football. Roisin Connolly given an 11th hour call up, and Connolly is busy. That's a good link up with Cleana Nicoletti. Probing ball inside, looking for Keys. Keys taking her time, looking for support. And she's deemed to have over-carried the ball. Potentially a harsh call on the Jude skipper, but already Clontarf B setting out a signal of their intent, and good defensive cover there.
You can see the conditions out there. It's kind of very slippy out there. You see what impact that's going to have on the game. Can make it very messy possibly.
Messy and physical. The referee will have players' safety paramount, because with that greasy ball and greasy conditions. That's a great run from Maeve Walsh. She's done ever so well. Finding the opening, the referee content to allow the advantage. Good arcing run by her corner forward, Grace Smith. Smith pulls the trigger and Smith has delivered the first score of the contest. Delightful effort indeed from Clontarf's number 13. Grace Smith sending the ball between the posts after the hard running had been done by Maeve Walsh, but just the start that the younger and very much the younger side, Clontarf, would have wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see that was a very well worked score by Clontarf, and that's a great score just to kind of settle them now into this game.
Well, 1 from 1. Grace Smith, your scorer. And it's Connolly, that's Roisin Connolly. Shoveling it back towards Kerr. They've handled a lot of ball in the opening 2 minutes or thereabouts of this contest. Ellie Young's come very far from goal. Powerful player, just 18 years of age. Great ball inside. Exactly where it would have been wanted by Lisa Morris. Morris pulls the trigger, but that one is a little bit off.
Yeah, unlucky there from Lisa Morris. It's a very well worked ball up, and she's probably disappointed with just didn't kind of connect with that. Look, it's great to see them kind of getting up to pitch and getting scoring opportunities.
Rachel Smith posts the kick out quickly out to the wing where she's looking for Alice Marin. Marin is fouled. Bright start to this contest. Difficult conditions being made light of. And certainly Clontarf B with the bit between their teeth. Great handling from the vastly experienced Caroline Roban. And Walsh again, she's content to do a lot of running. She pokes that goalward and the handling had to be good from Aoife McAuliffe. It's one that on a greasy day like today with the ball like a bar of soap could have ended up anywhere. Walsh poked it at goal with serious intent. We saw Dromore oust Trillick from the Tyrone Senior Championship last night with a similar goal to that right at the start of the game. Trillick it was that got the goal as Hannah Hegarty sets forward. Very strong in possession, direct runner, really good control, giving it off, but the pass to Keys asks a lot of her, and instead it's expertly cut out by the Clontarf girls, and that's another chance gone a begging for the Judes ladies.
Yeah, it was a great run by Hannah Hegarty there. That's where possession's going to be key in this game. You just can't be giving away that cheaply, but Hannah's someone that they're going to look to get in a lot of balls. She's going to drive down, but you can see on just the counter-attack there with Clontarf, they're very fast, and when they get going, you see Hannah Begley there, she's going to be a tough one to stop.
Well, Niamh Kerr got a bang in that last passage of play. She intercepted the free kick, which was poorly directed. The referee just going across, as well as the Jude's medical team, to make sure that their star forward is okay. Well, we made the point that St Bridget's of Monaghan is her home club, and she, I suppose, cut her teeth in Monaghan when ladies football in Monaghan was where Dublin and Meath ladies football is now, Lindsay.
Yeah, absolutely. Monaghan definitely would have been one of the key teams back in the day, and Jodie would have had lots of battles against the likes of Waterford. Now I remember when I was kind of younger, would have been going in supporting the Waterford ladies. They would have always had great battles between Monaghan and Mayo.
There's a great Waterford and indeed Monaghan tinge to this Jude side. We've mentioned, of course, Kiva McGrath, who's out injured today, but you also have Aoife Rocket, whose sister Niamh is a Waterford camogie player. She's in fact a captain and an all-star. Her brother and dad are also Waterford hurlers back in the day. And Jude's and Niamh Kerr, she's fully fit again, I can tell you, working ever so hard. Nicoletti. But the Clontarf cover is really, really good. Disciplined in the tackle, standing their ground and just forcing the error time after time.
Yeah, Clontarf are doing very well defensively. They're really just standing up strong in the tackle and forcing Jude to make some mistakes.
Ellie Young shoots goalward. That looks better than the initial effort from Lisa Morris, and that finds the range on 5 minutes of play. Ellie Young, the 18-year-old Leaving Cert student, making her mark in fine style, but Clontarf, while their defending is wonderful, their distribution from the free kicks that they're winning is criminal. Oh, and the referee, he's been diligent in fairness and consistent on the over-carrying, and on that occasion, and Shannon was the culprit. She'd found herself in a world of space and perhaps was astonished by how much time she had, but fouling the ball, the referee getting the call right. He's on top of his brief, Ray McBride. And this another chance for the Jude's girls, perhaps to steal the lead for the first time. Cleona Nicoletti, the UCD student, just 20 years of age, kicking goalward, and it's wide. Great chance going a begging, and well, for those of you safely tucked up at home on this dreary October afternoon, it's tough out there, and on that occasion the free kick bearing testament to that, Lindsay.
Yeah, unfortunate there, just drifted slightly wide, but you can see with Judes that they're going to put serious pressure on the Clontarf's kickouts, and I know that's something that they would have went after against O'Dwyer's in the semi-final.
Here's Anne Shannon again. Her confidence not dented from that last free which she gave away. Edel Nyland has fumbled it. And it's booted in the direction of Niamh Kerr once more. She's busy, bundled off the ball. This is better from Jude's. They've an overlapping runner and it's Ellie Young. It's opened up a little bit for her. Back minding the house, doing ever so well. There was Anne Shannon. That's great play. The referee allowing the advantage, and when eventually it didn't accrue, giving the free for Ellie Young's direct running. But Anne Shannon, really, she was the last woman standing right in the gap with Jude's players converging on goal. She did well perhaps to avoid anything other than the concession of a free.
Yeah, she did well there to kind of just give away the free. See Ellie Young, she's going to cause some serious trouble inside just after converting that free there, which is a great score for them. Well,
you add that to her effort from play and it doubles the Jude's tally, and more to the point, it's 2 points for the Jude's girls, 1 point for Clontarf B. That was the opener, which came from Grace Smith in the second minute. Since then, 2 Jude's responses, one from Ellie Young from open play, the other from an Ellie Young free, and we've got a cracking game here in St Margaret's with just 7.5 minutes on the stopwatch. Jude's raid once more, strong direct running from Morris. She has on this occasion been fouled, Lindsay.
Yeah, look, like we said, this is an area where Judes are going to go after, trying to pin in that kick. As you kind of see, they're starting to kind of grow in confidence, and see Lisa Morris as well. I'd like to see Lisa Morris and Ellie Young when they're going at them direct. They're hard to stop, and Clontarf being forced to foul them. Well,
players getting the opportunity just to draw breath here as Ellie Young gets ready. Not an ideal angle for a right-footed kicker, but she's put it in dangerously. It's flicked goalward, and Hannah Begley was on the end of that, I do believe. Hannah Begley with a wonderful flick to the net, and lo and behold, Clontarf B, who led by a point in the early minutes of this contest, have seen their lead not just wiped out, but they now trail by 4. Real Predators goal, opportunist punch from Begley, but the ball in from Young was always dangerous.
Yeah, anytime you put a high ball into a square like that, I have to say Hannah Begley though, fantastic fist of the ball there, great vision, just punching the top back of the net.
And they're not finished yet because Lisa Morris is blocked down, but there's real danger on Clontarf clearing their lines with some level of anxiety as that's plucked down by Cleena Nicoletti. Wonderful skill to kill the ball with one hand, but the shot is woefully wayward from Hannah Hegarty. But a real purple patch for the Jude's girls. They're playing with swagger and style now that saw them, I suppose, in their group stage score wins over Temple Oak, Sing Street, Raheny and of course Clontarf B. They were, comfortable enough winners against O'Dwyer's in the semi-final, and you get the sense sometimes there's an extra gear there all the time.
Yeah, they're doing really well. They're starting to kind of control the game now. I think they're starting to settle, Clontarf kind of need to try and get themselves on the scoreboard. They haven't scored since the first minute, so they'll need to try and get themselves back into it and get a score on the board.
And they're trying to do that with gusto out in the centre of the field. That's good from Edel Nyland. Inside to the rangy Ciara O'Connor. She pokes it forward. This is a great attack, and off the bar and over. Maeve Walsh, well, she had goal on her mind. The shot was a rasper, but unfortunately for her, a millimetre or two lower, and it would have been in the roof of Aoife McAuliffe's net. But as it is, it strikes the bar and goes over to tie back the margin to just 3 points. But a great attack, and in fairness to Clontarf, when they come forward, there's real danger and zip about them.
Yeah, that was a fantastic effort there. Like we said, when Clontarf, when they get that ball in early, they can cause some problems.
Well, on that occasion, Maeve Walsh adding her single point to Grace Smith's earlier effort, making it 1-2 for St Jude's. 2 points for Clontarf B. Jude's on the offensive once more. They've got a great forward unit when they click, and this is Nicoletti once more, giving it inside. Overlap from Begley. Begley wants to shoot unselfishly inside. Real danger here. Keys can't get it in her hands, and instead, really sterling work back there. Emer Mangan with a chance to clear now for Clontarf B, being encouraged by her teammates and indeed the management to get the ball out of the danger zone. Cracking opening 10.5 minutes to this contest. It's Jude's by a goal at the moment. The goal, a real opportunist punch from Hannah Begley to the bottom of Rachel Smith's net.
Yeah, Clontarf did very well just in that attack there. To see when their Judes are working the ball very well through the hands.
Ciara O'Connor once more, Lindsay. She's busy. and very industrious, and that's a great point. Showed great strength, power and accuracy to apply the finish, and the entire Clontarf B inside forward line now have all scored, and I can tell you, pound for pound, they're certainly giving as good as they're getting in this contest. But the quality of the shooting inside from Clontarf B, everything has gone over the bar, albeit one off the crossbar.
Yeah, it's very impressive, and that's what you kind of need in these games. You need them to be as clinical as they can. It's a very tight game, and any scores could be or any missed chances could be costly. Jude's with redshirt 2 wides at the moment, but Clontarf are doing very well up front. 3 scores, 11 minutes, and those 2 points, they needed that just to kind of settle them and get them back into it.
Indeed, as the kick out is driven long and with authority by Aoife McAuliffe. She's a native of Wexford, and indeed, she won an intermediate championship down there with Martins in 2017. This kick out, though, has been taken by Clontarf B. There's a hint of a foul there, but the referee's in the very, very favourable position to make that call, and he's decided no. Jude's with an opportunity to work it back up the park. That's a real clever hand pass, cutting out 4 Clontarf players. Here goes Hannah Hegarty. Off to Nicoletti. She's got pace to burn, really strong runner, and a lovely ball inside. She's available for the 1-2 and available to fire over the bar. Even though Hannah Begley had an opportunity to shoot, she knew that Nicoletti had the momentum, and more to the point, the skill to be able to dissect the posts and help herself to another score to make it St Jude's 1-3, Clontarf B 3 points.
Fantastic. I'm really impressed with Jude's work rate. They're working very well together as a forward unit. The Clean Nicoletti and Begley working up with the give and go. Great work there, and well finished by Nicoletti.
Very hard to defend against that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like when you're working as a unit, give and go, like I said, it's very hard for a defender to get stuck in between 2 players who to go to. But I say Judes are dangerous when they go together in numbers.
Well, Clontarf able to absorb a lot of the pressure, but there is a power factor to this Jude side, and backbone by players with experience in Wexford, Monaghan, Waterford. It does, I suppose, make for a very potent force. But here goes Ciara O'Connor once more. She's been very impressive, and here she goes with that left peg once more, and that is a wonderful effort from Ciara O'Connor, her 2nd point of the contest, and all the while eroding the Jude's advantage, chipping away at their lead, and making it now, after 13.5 minutes of play, St Jude's a goal and 3, Clontarf B 4 points.
Yeah, there's very little in between the 2 teams. They're both very potent forward lines, both defending very well, and have to say Clontarf are doing very well with their conversion rate.
Great take by Katrina Devlin on the kick out, obviously something they've worked on in training. Nice work by Aoife Rocket. She can't gather it cleanly though, and back there minding the house as she's been all afternoon and doing it to great effect is Anne Shannon. Caught once in possession, but otherwise she's been really good. Tumbles to the ground there, a little bit theatrical, but nonetheless she does her job well as a full-back, and she's steadying the Clontarf ship all the time. 2 between the sides. We're almost at the quarter-hour mark in this contest, thankfully. Blue skies beginning to peep out from behind those dark grey clouds. Lindsay Davey, 5-time All-Ireland winner, is on analysis on this game, being brought to you on Dubs TV with myself, Sean Perry, on commentary, as the Clontarf girls raid once more. Grace Smith. She's a very nimble player, strong runner, hit hard in the tackle. Referee said it was fair. Niamh Kerr.
Keep going, Claire. Come on again, Claire. Go on, you have it. Go on.
Claire Gannon content to see that ball go forward. Hannah Begley's got a little bit of space and a yard or two on Lizzie O'Callaghan. Great tackle from Ava Cunningham. Oh, that's wonderful from Cunningham. And the Clontarf girls through Laura Burke with an opportunity now to transition. Delightful pass inside. The referee spotted a tug there, or a push rather, on Grace Smith. Useful ball. The target inside, none other than Maeve Walsh. She pulls the trigger, but that one has gone wide. I think it's Clontarf's first wide of the contest.
Yeah, first wide. They see Grace Smith, great vision to put the ball in early to Maeve Walsh. You know, if they can get that ball in early into the full forward line, that they can get scores from it. But very close encounter going into this first water break. Very little between the 2 sides.
Just 2 points between them, and 1-3 for St Jude's, 4 points for Clontarf B. as we take a pause in proceedings for the first half of in the first water break of this first half. Both managers with an opportunity to regroup, but certainly there's been some gripping aspects to this contest. The movement inside of the Clontarf B full forward line is something to behold, but I suppose the power of Jude's up through the middle, in particular with the likes of Niamh Kerr, Ellie Young and Hannah Begley pulling the strings, has made this a really, really entertaining fair, Lindsay.
Yeah, absolutely, and in fairness, Clontarf have done very well with just keeping that scoreboard ticking. They've only registered one wide in that half. Jude's very strong, working the ball through the hands together, and then that goal from Hannah Begley being the difference, keeping 2 points ahead.
And we made the point on commentary. I mean, it was, do you think that the ball that Ellie Young directed inside, is she intended to perhaps put it over the bar or work a goal scoring opportunity?
Yeah, look, I suppose this is going to be the interesting thing from the remainder of the game. You know, it's who's going to take their opportunities. But I think with like Ellie Young, I think if she's in there close to goal, she's going to have goal on mind.
Well, we haven't seen Rachel Smith tested seriously as of yet. At the other end, Aoife McAuliffe has had a little bit of work to do, as the referee indicates that Aoife McAuliffe can now recommence the contest with the water break having taken place. Again, she directs the kick out towards Katrina Devlin. That's clever. They've worked that well. Gannon's on the ball. That's Claire Gannon. Useful ball forward.
Well done, Hannah. Come on.
And when we take a break on commentary, you can be treated to the debate on the sideline between players, families and friends. Don't have to press the red button for that anymore, as Lisa Morris meanders around the 45-metre line, looks for a little bit of an opening which isn't easily found, and the referee has given the free kick the way of the Clontarf girls. A somewhat surprising call, but he's been very consistent and fair on the overcarrying. As Clontarf look for an opportunity to go forward. Edel Nyland taking her time but misdirecting the pass.
Do it. Come on. Great ball.
The space inside. Keys was the player that had found it, and the pass doesn't find its target. Ball slippery, don't forget. You have autumnal leaves lying all over the pitch, but there's been a lot of rain this week as Laura Burke gets her hands on the ball.
Come on. Well done.
Burke kicking that one on the ground, and the referee said in so doing she fouled her opponent, and this will be a free which Niamh Kerr may perhaps take. 34-year-old. Right on the 45. Hannah Begley in around the area where she's caused a serious threat. Hegarty. That direct running style, but on this occasion a good dispossessing tackle from Edel Nyland. She did really well. Emer Mangan there now to complete the clearance. But Jude's not allowing Clontarf much time in possession in their own defence. First line of defence really is their full forward line.
Yeah, absolutely. You really need a strong full forward. And you see Hannah Hegarty was the one kind of gave away possession, but she's working so hard to try and fight to get that ball back.
Well, the two Hannahs, Begley and Hegarty, have been a real handful for Clontarf, as Clontarf raid now and trying to get that forward line of Smith, O'Connor and Walsh on the ball. This is good from Nyland, straight up the middle, and the ball going wide off the keeper's hands. Aoife McAuliffe perhaps didn't need to put a hand on that, but that's easy said from our commentary position. When the ball is coming in like a missile on top of you, you're going to instinctively reach for it.
Yeah, absolutely. She wasn't going to take any chances there. Result now in 45 for Clontarf. It'll be interesting to see what they'll do with this.
Well, Isabel Finnegan, the student, is going to be the player entrusted with trying to create something from it. They've obviously worked on something in training, prodding it towards Nyland, but it hasn't worked out.
Fairness, Jude did very well. Aoife Walsh really tightened her marker there to kind of get the hand in and force the turnover.
Kiva Hoy there is penalised, I think, for holding the arm of her opponent. She looked to have made the perfect dispossession from the clearance, but the scoreboard still reading 1-3 for the Jude's girls. 4 points for Clontarf, and we're, as your screen will tell you at home, 18.5 minutes into this first contest. I know that Laura Doherty's sister Niamh is watching in Strasbourg, where she's on an Erasmus year and would love to be here playing in the Jude's colours, but alas, it's not to be. But given the power and reach of modern technology, we're able to beam our pictures and commentary over to Strasbourg this afternoon. So you're welcome to St Margaret's, Niamh Doherty. As Clontarf raid once more, Ciara O'Connor, their classy full forward, fumbling the ball. Was she fouled? Referee says no. In fact, touching the ball then as she lay on the ground, and well, that's enough to give a free to the Jude's girls.
I have to say both defences are kind of working really well. I think obviously with the conditions, a few balls just slipping away, but both defences working really well to force turnovers.
Both sets of players content to grab a breather for a moment before this free kick is lofted forward, and lofted it is, but it doesn't reach its target of the hard-working Burke and Nyland combine once more. Burke is very game indeed, making herself available at all opportunities, as a good midfielder should. This is a useful ball to Grace Smith. She's found a little bit of an opening inside. She'll pull the trigger off that cultured left boot, and will she land a score? The answer is indeed yes. Up goes the white flag, and it's a 1-point game once more. And credit to the Clontarf girls, with 8 minutes remaining in this first half, they're right back in at 5 points to 1-3.
Yeah, great work from Grace Smith there. A bit of a give and go with Ciara O'Connor, and well taken score.
It certainly was, as the kick out is blasted from the edge of the square by Aoife McAuliffe. Great work by Kerr. Probing ball forward. Judes have a few bodies over here. There's danger when Begley gets possession. Begley's unselfish to Morris. Morris looking for Keys, and that one is blasted to the net. It's a Jude's goal. Did Keys apply the finishing touch, or was Keys just in the danger area? I think it may be a second for Hannah Begley. Hannah Begley, the player, kicking it to the net along the ground, soccer style, doing the business after Keys had made a real nuisance of herself inside, and that's a sucker punch for the Clontarf girls.
Yeah, absolutely. Begley just seemed to be in the right place at the right time.
And here's Lisa Morris. She slipped and fallen. Can she retrieve possession? Look who's there, Hannah Begley once more. Referee eventually sounding the whistle and giving the free to Clontarf, but coming as it did with 7 minutes remaining in this first half, and Clontarf now are really under the cosh. They're like a boxer on the ropes, praying that the bell will ring, or in this case the half-time whistle. Ellie Young, she's done her bit, given it to Hegarty. She's clipped, and the referee, well, I thought she was hit high, but the referee saying in fact that she overcarried the ball and giving a free out to the Clontarf girls. Well, real opportunism about Begley's second strike there as well. If there's anything moving at all or floating around the area, she'll either punch or kick it.
Yeah, absolutely. She's very well, just kind of been in the right space, right time, and floating in around that square. First one punched in, and then second one just a little tap in, Joe, but it's going to make it very difficult for Clontarf now.
Well, the one thing we've learned about them in the opening 22 minutes of this contest is that they don't give up without a fight, and they've kicked 5 quality scores, all from open play, it's worth noting, whereas all but one of the Jude scores have also been from open play, the exception an Ellie Young free. This is a great run from Nicoletti. Great pace inside, and it's punched goalward by Aoife Keys, but the captain never really had the power on the connection to make that one count, and it's booted back out in the direction of the hard-working Caroline Roban. The game has passed her by a little bit here in St Margaret's, but now she's in possession again, and her centre field partner Laura Burke, always willing and available for work. Nyland now.
You can see that was a well worked run by Clean and Nicoletti, running up the wing there, high ball into Aoife Keys. Think might have had time to maybe catch and finish, but probably just thought the keeper was closer, went for the punch, and unfortunately just didn't
well, the
work out
palmed
for
goal has become a real pop. It's really in vogue at the moment as that ball is given away desperately. But Nicoletti has great pace, as we pointed out earlier, to get into these positions. Keys and Alice Marin in a real old tussle there, but Ellie Young has it, and Ellie Young will pull the trigger. She knows where the posts are, but on this occasion she misses the target. As the referee goes in perhaps to have a quick word with the umpire, is he contesting that perhaps that should be a 45? It looked as if Young applied a clean strike to the ball, even if it did go wide of the posts.
I am very impressed with the work rate from Cleena Nicoletti. Even she gets the ball's gone away, she's working hard to get it back, and that's what you like to see from a forward, is getting those turnovers in.
The referee, Lindsay, just having a quick word there with Anne Shannon for something that happened in that last passage of play. It was his umpire that had brought his attention to it. So Rachel Smith kicking, but now there's a little bit of a pep in the Jude step, and Niamh Kerr barrelling forward, powerful running. She still has it, gives it forward. The chance from Rocket. Rocket blasts goalward. The umpires take their time, but eventually the white flag goes up, and the Chartered Secretary scores her first of the afternoon. She was also an accomplished soccer player, would you believe, down in Kilmacthomas, a former captain of this side, spent 7 years wearing the captain's armband, and she further stretches out the Jude's advantage, now making it 2-4 for the Jude's girls, and they could be about to add to that. Once more inflict further injury. Ellie Young is pulled down. That's a penalty all day long. Once Young had sold the sidestep, the referee left with little choice, and the end of this half is getting very ominous indeed for the Clontarf girls.
Yeah, like I said, Jews have done very well at pinning in the kickouts there. The last two kickouts, they've won possession and they've managed to go on the attack. That last opportunity resulting in a penalty now for Jews. But like I said, they're very dangerous in pressing those kickouts, and they're working really well as a unit to cause Clontarf all sorts of trouble.
There could be further trouble for Clontarf with Ava Cunningham now picking up a yellow card, and that's another disaster, adding insult to injury for the girls in red. 2-4 for Jude's, 5 points for Clontarf. Penalty coming up for the Jude's girls, and it's going to be taken by full forward Ellie Young. It's saved. It was a poor kick in fairness, and the follow-up, well, booted by Hannah Begley, but again Clontarf have bodies back, doing really, really well indeed, and managing to win the free. Good work by Aisling Moran.
Come on, girls.
Ciara O'Connor drilling it forward. Clontarf look to find their mojo once more. Maeve Walsh is pushed, but the referee gives the advantage. O'Connor's unselfish. Nyland now.
Well done.
O'Connor being forced out by Claire Gannon. Nyland will take the shot from distance. McAuliffe doing well, reading that confidently and assertively, kicking out to the flank. Burke is there. Isabel Finnegan in the thick of it, but pouncing at the opportune moment. The Jude's girls managing to drive that ball forward where Aoife Keys is available, but her ball to Lisa Morris on the far side is wayward and goes out over the sideline, giving Clontarf an opportunity to regroup.
Yeah, Clontarf be very relieved now with that penalty. The fact keeper pulling off save, don't think Ellie Young struck it too well, but it just keeps Clontarf kind of still within grasp coming into half time.
Indeed, yes. Well, were it to have hit the back of the net, struggled to see a way back for the Clontarf girls. This is good though. Lisa Morris again involved, the full forward who took the penalty. Ellie Young driving that goalward, and the white flag goes up. It's a third point of the afternoon from her, 1 from a free and 2 from open play. The 18-year-old cutting a dash here in St Margaret's this afternoon, but as Lindsay just reflected there a moment ago, the penalty not her cleanest strike by any matter or means, and really Rachel Smith, it hit her essentially on the shins.
Yeah, kind of, she just didn't really get any angle on her side. She would have been looked to put in the corner, but unfortunately just wasn't a clean strike. Made it very easy for Rachel Smith, but I think kind of let them off, Clontarf off the hook there. Had they been 3 goals down going into half time, it would have been very difficult to see a way back for them.
Roban giving it forward now. The Clontarf girls trying to work and engineer a little bit of space. Aisling Moran's in the thick of it, but Claire Gannon bursting clear with possession, the student at Trinity College, also a renowned camogie player, giving a great ball forward. Nice direct pass, and it allows the corner forwards Morris and Begley to combine. This is Morris. That has clipped the post and gone over. It's her first point of the afternoon, and she becomes the 5th of the starting inside line. to score, albeit Niamh Kerr and Aoife Keys have switched positions, with Kerr out at midfield and Keys very much operating as a target inside. Foul from Kerr there on Laura Burke.
You could see that last score for Judes there. Fantastic run from Claire Gannon, breaking out of the fence, and then well worked give and go between Lisa Morris and Hannah Begley. They're really linking up well, and well finished score by for Lisa Morris. But yeah, very impressed with the Judes. That's, like I said, 5 out of their 6 forwards getting on the scoreboard.
This is Emer Mangan. Half time only minutes away. Less than a minute, in fact. We do have, of course, the issue of Ava Cunningham having picked up that yellow card just minutes ago for the incident that led to the penalty. Ciara O'Connor, one of the standout performers in the Clontarf attack, as Grace Smith is really hassled and harried there. But she's done well.
Come on, stay at it, stay at it!
Direct run through the middle, the finishing touch applied by Kiva Hoy, and if ever you saw a defender forward and not wanting to take on a shot, that was it. Hoy's effort. Never going to trouble Aoife McAuliffe in the Jude's goal. It's tight to the line here, but Ellie Young is back there. Really strong work from the full forward as Nicoletti sets off. She's going to combine with Young once more. They're really bursting their lungs here to get forward as Clontarf funnel players back. Will they get back quick enough? Young pulls the trigger, and I think that's outside, and from a very kickable range she has managed to miss the target there. But given that she created the opportunity essentially in her own left half back position, maybe she wasn't the player to apply the touch given the amount of energy she'd expended in getting forward.
Yeah, I'd be disappointed with that. Like, it was well worked to the hands. Like I said, Judes are working very well as a forward unit, giving and going. There's great support between them, and yeah, she'd be just a bit disappointed with that effort.
Well, the scoreboard reading: Clontarf 5 points, St Jude's, who are in blue, Clontarf incidentally are in red, on 2 goals and 6. We're in stoppage time at the end of this first half. Ellie Young working right to the half-time whistle, which the referee, Ray McBride, duly sounds, and with the gap of 7 between the sides at the break, there's a lot to do for the Jude's girls in the second, or for a lot to do for the Clontarf girls, I should say, in the second half. But it could have been so much worse. You know, 7 minutes remaining in the half, and there was that penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, had they had that extra goal, it would have been very hard to see a way back for them. And then obviously Ava Cunningham picking up a yellow card. It's a very difficult one though, isn't it, when the players coming in one-on-one. It's very hard to know what you do. You kind of let them have the chance on goal, and you know, she tried to get the tackle in, took her down, and ref sent her off for 10 minutes with the yellow card. Clontarf were definitely struggling in that second quarter. You know, they've only got registered 1 point from play in that one, where the last 10 minutes has all been about St Jude's. They're really just building now as the game goes on.
Lindsay Davey, thank you sincerely for your first half analysis. Full live second half commentary and analysis with myself and Lindsay coming up in a matter of about 12 or 13 minutes. But at half time, as we take a break here in St Margarets in North Dublin, the scoreboard reads: in this Dublin Junior Ladies County Final, St Jude's 2 goals and 6 points, Clontarf 5 points.
All right, Jeff. Good lad, good lad. Come on again, girls. Come on, girls. No, it's off again. Yeah. No, you're grand. You're grand. She's keeping you safe and she's doing a great job. Come on, girls, again. Come on, come on, come on.
Jude's aiming to pick up where they left off at half time. Straight on to the offensive. And that's blasted forward by their captain Aoife Keys, and what a way to begin the second half. Aoife Keys scoring her first of the afternoon. The 26-year-old skipper, whose grandfather Ernest Kenny was a founder member of the Jude's Club, and she scores a point that would grace any stage to commence the second half on a very strong note for the Judes.
Yeah, definitely a statement of intent in the second half from Judes, with their captain stepping up to pop that over just after winning the kick out there as well.
They're in no mood for any mercy as this one is kicked by Niamh Kerr. She hasn't scored yet today and is batted onto the crossbar. Keeper really diligent there, a strong hand on that, because that could have spelled disaster. The referee's just going in to speak to his umpire and ensure that that ball didn't actually cross the line. I don't believe it did, even though we're quite some distance away in our commentary position at pitch level.
Yeah, I didn't think so either, but it definitely just did. I thought for a second it was going to just drop in over the keeper's head there, but Rachel Smith did very well.
Indeed she did, keeping that one out, and well, Jude's aiming to try and allow their opponents no way back into this contest. Scoreboard now reading St Jude's 2 goals and 7, Clontarf 5 points.
Well done, well done. Stay at it, Rocket. Come on.
Staying relatively dry here in North Dublin, even though the rain during the week has made the pitch very soggy indeed. Off goes Grace Smith. Ball skidding off the surface there, making it hard for Isabel Finnegan to gather it. Autumnal leaves evident on the field of play. Grace Smith winning the free, but the referee allowing the advantage. Now he's bringing it back for the free. Good call by the official. Grace Smith, she scored the first point of this afternoon's contest. Since then, the supply having dried up somewhat coming into her.
Yeah, Jews are doing very well. Defence, you could even see just they're not tackling. You have 2 players just sitting in around the square, so they're definitely going to be doing all they can to stop Clontarf getting goals to get back into this game.
And there's a little bit of robbing Peter to pay Paul, because Ciara O'Connor has also gone out to the middle of the field to try and win clean ball for the inside line. So the Clontarf girls deprived of their target woman inside. She scored 2 this afternoon. Grace Smith has scored 2 as well. Maeve Walsh with the 5th Clontarf score. That's a great kick. Sweeping it in beautifully and over the black spot. Great score from Ciara O'Connor. It's a 6th for the Clontarf girls, a 1st from a placed ball, and it brings the margin between the sides back to 7 points.
Yeah, go down to Ernest.
Roisin Connolly working hard. Nicoletti has the pace, chased by Roban. Niamh Kerr still looking for that all-elusive first point. She's given it off, but the referee giving the free for a tug.
Oh, I'd say Ellie Young probably just a bit disappointed now that he called that back for the advantage. Kind of ball played over the top, and she looked like she would have been through. Probably Clontarf on the opposite end, probably delighted that it was called back.
Ellie Young has 3 points this afternoon. Hannah Begley with both those Jude's majors coming in the first half as they did. Cleena Nicoletti, Aoife Rocket and Lisa Morris have also scored in the first half, as that one is kicked goalward. And Ellie Young, she may not have got the goal scoring opportunity she wanted, but she has converted a free and helped herself to a 4th point of the afternoon, stretching out the Jude's advantage to 8 once more. Kick out has gone astray. Clontarf doing well with Edel Nyland funneling back. Hoy almost caught in possession. Clontarf with runners coming back, but the October conditions, if you like, the wet pitch, it's a little bit heavy, just suits that greater power that the Jude's girls have. There was a definite trip there on Niamh Kerr.
Okay.
And as Niamh Kerr picks herself back up to her feet, Katrina Devlin will get ready to take the free kick. Steady performance by the 20-year-old who's a student in St Pat's Teacher Training College. She was another member of a successful minor side in 2019, and her brother Tom is also a senior Jude's hurler and footballer. A lot of good work going on at underage level in both these clubs, Lindsay.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can see even with Clontarf, like this is be their B team, but they have a very good underage setup, and they're all filtering into that senior team.
Indeed, the sprinkling and I suppose the average age spread in both sides quite remarkable, but Clontarf in particular with so many young players. Here's Ciara O'Connor, one of their leading lights today. And what's been a difficult afternoon thus far, but it's not over yet as Maeve Walsh gets involved. Off the right foot, no. She scored 3 off the left, and that her first effort with the right boot. And well, sometimes they say that the right foot is for standing on, and on that occasion, even though she connected well with the ball, it was never going to trouble the umpires.
No, she probably disappointed with that effort there, but you could see when she was stepping up to the free, she probably could have converted herself, but just trying to make something happen. They know to get back in this game they probably need a goal, so she was obviously just trying to create something. She's just unlucky with the follow-up effort.
Well, Leah Butler is coming in for Hannah Doherty, the Human Resources Administrator, having put in an honest shift for the 36 minutes that she's been on the park. As McAuliffe sprays the kick to the wing, Roisin Connolly began this game very, very brightly indeed. And Laura Doherty being congratulated by all and sundry in the Jude's line. They suspect that they've one hand on the trophy at this stage.
Come on, keep going.
Another promising attack, real pace and menace to it, but the referee indicating that the ball was overcarried. Disappointment for the dashing Lisa Morris, but you can't argue with the referee. He's applied that rule and he's applied it evenly.
Yeah, I think he's been very fair when it's coming to the stats. He's been calling it equally in both, and I suppose when you have consistency like that, you can't give out too much.
Clontarf girls making life a little difficult for themselves in defence, but that's poked forward. Substitute Leah Butler getting an early taste of the action. Ava Cunningham picked up that yellow card in the first half in the incident that led to the penalty, but little she could do, I suppose, with Jude's players converging on goal. The penalty subsequently missed. This is good from Hannah Hegarty, the PE and biology teacher, just 23 years of age. She's a powerful presence in the middle of the park. Here she goes again. It's great pace, great momentum, unselfish. In it's given. Morris kicks goalward. Morris misses the target. And you suspect a little bit that with each of these missed chances that Clontarf might gain a little bit of hope. And if there are, I suppose, strands to cling to, this is it.
Yeah, and so as Ava Cunningham being back on now will be a big boost for Clontarf. I think they definitely struggled for that 10-minute period when she was off. They capitalised on it. But yeah, they're going to just need to something a bit special now to try and get themselves back into this.
Lisa Morris fouling the ball that came in, and I suppose it's indicative of the conditions here. If you don't get clean possession in the first attempt, it really is difficult to gather it at the second attempt.
Absolutely, and for a defender, it's a lot easier for a defender coming out with the ball going astray. The forward has to really win it first time. Jude's
raid once more. Ellie Young is available, but instead the overlapping option of Aoife Rocket was taken. Rocket's done really well. Hannah is there also. That's Hannah Hegarty as opposed to Begley. She kicks goalward, but she misses the target. Well, that was real magical stuff, how she managed to rob that ball almost like a pickpocket. With Clontarf thinking that they were in line to move it back up the park.
Yeah, the work rate from Jude's forward line has been very impressive. Hannah Hegarty working very hard there. They probably just need to settle a bit on their scores. That's a second wide for Hannah Hegarty.
One off
now.
The left, one off the right, yeah.
She really just
trying too hard in front of the post.
Yeah, you can see herself, she's even disappointed with that effort. She just needs to settle herself a bit on the scores, but working very hard.
Restart to be taken again by Rachel Smith. Well, Jude's agonising pain of last year's defeat at the hands of Ballantyre. It looks this year, with their unbeaten record in the group stages and that semi-final win over O'Dwyer's, as if they're about to go one better. With 20 minutes left in this Dublin Ladies Club Junior final, the destiny of the trophy is very much within Jude's grasp. 2-8 to Clontarf's 6 points, and playing within themselves, as the old saying goes. That's great play by Isabel Finnegan, seizing that ball. Off goes Maeve Walsh. To O'Connor. Unselfish as they try and work a goal. Walsh clipping it in and Walsh sending it over the bar. Well, that zip in that inside Clontarf line evident once more. 7 points they've helped themselves to. The entire Clontarf scores have come from Ciara O'Connor and Grace Smith, along with Maeve Walsh. 2 apiece for the corner forwards and 3 for the lady in the middle. And it's now double scores, 7 points to 2-8.
Yeah, it's much better work from Clontarf on the attack. They have great forwards and they're well capable of getting scores. It'll be interesting to see now Ava Cunningham being back on the pitch. Can she just give them that bit of momentum to push up a bit more?
Centre half back getting in the action. The shot taken, and again that one, the umpire taking his time, and there's a little bit of doubt there. It was Aoife Rocket who took the shot, and no firm indication as to whether it went over or went wide, but nonetheless it looked wide from our vantage point. I thought it was wide.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't think it was registered.
Well, if there's 1 point in at the end, there's a real talking point, but Judes are aiming to stretch out the margin once more, and that one drilled between the posts. Great score And the Jude's girls, if there was any doubt about that last effort, there's very little about this one, as that one is drilled right between the posts. And Jude's go into an 8-point lead once more.
Yeah, that's much better work there from Jude's. I think they've been a bit wasteful with some of their opportunities. That was their 4th wide of that quarter, so kind of keeping Clontarf in it.
Further changes being made. It's this time Aisling Gannon, twin sister of Claire Gannon at cornerback, who's coming into the action. She'd been warming up just down in front of us for a number of minutes. And Aoife Rocket, a former captain who's also, as we pointed out, a polished soccer player in her own right down in Waterford, scoring or leaving the field of play for Aisling Gannon to come in. Contest getting a little bit scrappy in the last few minutes. The sun peeps out to bring a little bit of heat to this October afternoon in North Dublin. The referee undecided as to which way the ball should go, so if in doubt, throw it in. Poked forward by Katrina Devlin. It's an awkward one though for her full forward Ellie Young. Young's done really well though, robbing that ball back. That strong play from the full forward. Forward she goes, giving it across unselfishly. The opportunity's still there as the attack is alive, but it's fumbled by Aoife Keys. And eventually the referee giving a free out. Well, too many cooks spoil the broth, and on that occasion you had Young giving it across to Morris and Morris giving it to Keys, and between them they coughed it up.
Yeah, I think they just took a bit too much out of possession there. I think possibly the shot could have been on for Lisa Morris. Played an extra one to Aoife Keys, and Clontarf did well to get the turnover and work it back up out the pitch.
Here's Ciara O'Connor. The Gannon twins both in shot there at the moment. This is really good from Grace Smith. Grace Smith pokes it forward. That's gone into the back of the net, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the green flag goes up. Grace Smith, I think she may have been shooting for the point, but one way or the other, it dropped wickedly into the back of Aoife McAuliffe's net. And though it came back out of the stanchion at the back of the goal, it was a goal. And lo and behold, Clontarf have potentially given themselves a lifeline, 1-7 now to 2-9, and it doesn't really reflect the level of dominance that Jude's have had here this afternoon.
Yeah, Jude's that quarter, they've had a lot of opportunities. I think they've registered four wides in the last 15-minute period, been very dominant throughout. But look, a bit of a goal there, just a lucky goal, I suppose, from Grace Smith. Probably trying to pop it over the bar, but dropped into the top corner. And Clontarf are now gone into this last quarter only 5 points down, which, considering the amount of chances Jude's have had.
Do they deserve the bit of luck, Clontarf?
They've been working hard, like I said, with that's in bin with Ava Cunningham, probably definitely hurt the team, but they seem to be kind of growing a bit, and it'd be interesting now if they can build on that goal, giving them a bit of momentum going into this last quarter.
Well, there'd be bitter recriminations for the Jude's girls if it doesn't work out, because they've controlled so much of the contest on the scoreboard. It was the added hurt of losing out to Ballantyre last season, and the experience that they have in their sides, the big game players, and for 45 minutes of this contest they've really lorded it, but all of a sudden that goal has changed the complexion of the game.
Yeah, and when you look back at the opportunities that Jude's have had, in total I think they've had 9 wides, missed a penalty opportunity, so they've left a lot of scoring opportunities behind them as well. But in fairness to Clontarf, they've kept with it. They've been definitely more clinical up front, but only missing two scores that I have, one in each half. So, if they can build on that goal now, being interesting in the last 15 minutes.
Well, they don't appear to be panicking though, because the Jude's girls went into the water break talk just in front of us, yards away, and such is the level of calmness around St Margarets that you can hear every word, and there were no raised voices, no banging of tables or furniture or anything like that where any to be in place. Here go Jude's once more, aiming to finish it off. Hannah Hegarty's on the ball. Quite simply a brilliant footballer. She punches goalward. Has she delivered the score? The answer is yes. Tenacious work from the midfielder, cutting through the gap, delivering the score. And if her feet had been letting her down in the last 5 minutes, there's always another option. Lindsay Davey, you've used it yourself. Punch it over the bar.
Absolutely, just very clever play from Hannah Hegarty there. Like I said, she's working very hard throughout this game. Few shots went straight for her, and just having the simple score then fisting it over.
Great score from Hannah Hegarty. Here's the hard-working Ellie Young. She's been a tormentor of the defence as this one falls in. I know, surely there's a penalty coming there. The keeper absolutely clotheslining her opponent as she came out, left with little choice after the delicate ball was played over the top by Ellie Young. And a second penalty has presented itself for the Jude's girls. The keeper, well, her momentum, she might say, took her in to her opponent. It was Lauren Carney who was coming in, the substitute, doing really well, taking up a great position. Young directed the pass to her, and now Young with her second spot kick of the afternoon, aiming to do what she wasn't able to do the first time around, and that's find the back of the net. The 18-year-old from Gael Kalashta on Fiersig getting ready with her run up as Jude's supporters and fans wait anxiously, and she's missed the second. Rachel Smith this time taking it in the hands, and the kick directed straight at the keeper. And well, all of a sudden, Clontarf, everything going their way in terms of getting back into this contest. The Grace Smith goal just before the water break, 2 penalty misses. They may have had Ava Cunningham black carded in the first half, but by God, they're going to die with their boots on here in St Margaret's this afternoon. Make of that what you will.
Oh, she'd be so disappointed looking back in that. Kind of a mirror image to her first effort, just
A couple of yards higher.
yeah, just put straight down the middle at the keeper. You know, you thought that this time she might have looked to put it either side of the corner of the keeper, but she just didn't seem to connect with her properly. Again, and these are the opportunities that, you know, by missing these opportunities, they're keeping Clontarf in the game.
And Aoife Walsh is gone for a yellow card, so Judes will play out. The remainder are all but 3 minutes of this contest, down one player. I didn't quite spot what Aoife Walsh did in that passage of play, but she came to the sideline with very little anger or sense of a grievance.
Yeah, I didn't even see it myself, but like, you know, coming into the last, 10 minutes, just 10, 12 minutes, and being down to Jude's down to 14 players, it'd be very interesting to see how Jude's will manage this.
Well, Clontarf surely sense that their opponents are a little vulnerable and smell blood, but have they got the news and the power to do something about it? All their scores have come from that inside line. 1-2 from Grace Smith, 2 points from Maeve Walsh, and the other 3 from the full forward, Ciara O'Connor. O'Connor now has moved back in towards the edge of the square to give them a discernible target for the closing moments of the contest. And well, Judes now will want to take the momentum out of this, I suspect, try and slow it down and kill it.
Yeah, absolutely. But on the flip side, you know, Clontarf have said all their full forward line are well capable of getting scores. They need to just try and get the ball into them more and see can they cause some damage in this last 10 minutes.
6 between the sides. Edel Nyland is on the ball. She's worked hard, giving it off. Gannon caught as Grace Smith makes a nuisance of herself, but the Judes girls composed in defence. It's really good play. Katrina Devlin back helping out as well. She clears it, but Ava Cunningham had taken a good position to try and intercept instead. It's a great run by the substitute, Leah Butler. She's made 50 yards and she turns, looks for support. She's done really well there to give her due, spraying it to Roisin Connolly. Connolly leaves it instead to the lady who won the penalty just moments ago, Lauren Carney.
That wasn't a free for anybody. Tag on, everyone tag.
6 between them. We move into the last 11 minutes of this ladies junior club final in Dublin. Last year it was heartbreak for Judes at the hands of Ballantyre. This year Clontarf B are giving them a right old run for their money.
Come on, girls, stay at it.
Good handling by the Clontarf girls. No ball going to ground.
Stay at it, stay at
Like, fair play to Clontarf, they're just not giving up. They're going to keep battling for this last 10 minutes, and you know, that's what you like to see in a team, especially when they're so young, and that kind of never say die attitude to just keep fighting.
The voice of Lindsay Davey on analysis as Amy O'Boyle gets involved there after her introduction. Nyland shoots. rushed the shot a little bit and scuffed it. And a miss that Clontarf can ill afford, given just over 10 minutes of normal time remain, but you sense that further opportunities could present themselves. How do you organise when you get that numerical advantage in the clutch moments like this to capitalise on it, Lindsay?
Yeah, it's just trying to keep that composure and experience, isn't it? I think that's definitely an area of the game that Clontarf or Judes will look back and be a bit disappointed. They could be easily, if they took their opportunities, well out of sight here. But, Clontarf, they're not panicking and they're just keeping themselves in it.
But I presume you organise it that your free players in or on the edge of the square, or what would the logic be if you were in the Clontarf dugout?
Oh, yeah, well, I suppose that's it. Yeah, you need, like I said, with their full forward line are well capable of getting scores, and they just need to try and get that ball in early to them, let them create damage.
Ellie Young with the free. She's been a figure of great composure this afternoon, as has Leah Butler, done really well since her introduction. Butler trying to get onto the right side, giving it off unselfishly. Niamh Kerr's final shot lets her down. She's tried really hard this afternoon, the Monaghan girl. In her 4th year now with St Jude's, and brings huge experience to that attack.
Come on, girl, stay at it. Come on, stay at it.
Ball along the ground. Nyland fumbling.
Go on. Hands up, well done, Hannah. Come on, back up.
Kiva Hoy's on her bike.
Lovely, go on.
Substitute Amy O'Boyle. Here's the very game Grace Smith, scorer of the Clontarf goal. Was she pushed by Gannon? Well, Aisling Gannon's not asking questions, clears her lines towards Ellie Young. Ball is beaten Young though. It's Walsh for Clontarf. Walsh takes on Gannon, and Walsh is penalised for overcarrying. Well, it's a hard call on the corner forward. With 6 between them and 8 minutes remaining, this one's in the melting pot.
Yeah, absolutely. You've seen Grace Smith there taking it on. I have to say, Aisling Gannon did very well to get the turnover. You feel had she beaten her there, they would have been in for a goal. I think if Clontarf can manage to get themselves a goal here, they'll be right back in. If there's Aisling Gannon after getting that turnover on the attack now.
Indeed, she's working hard since her introduction. Gannon's still going. This is good. Help from Butler. And the referee giving the free the way of the Clontarf girls who are defending. Clontarf in red, Jude's in blue, contrary to your graphic. Amy O'Boyle once more. And Clontarf know that something has to come from this, but that interception from Hannah Hegarty typifies what she's been about all afternoon. That's really good work. And her midfielder crashing through and applying the shot was Aoife Key. She's scored once this afternoon. The 26-year-old centre fielder on that occasion not able to get on the mark. As the Jude's management, Jeff Kane now in his 4th year in charge, indicating that he wants a few players to warm up and potentially run down the clock here. We're inside the last 7 minutes of normal time with Jude's ahead by 6. 2-10 to Clontarf's 1-7.
Yeah, again, like Hannah Hegarty, she's just so strong in the middle of that park, getting the interception there, driving up the pitch, laying it off. And again, this is where Judes have kind of fallen down in this half. That's another wide. That's 6 wides in this half. Again, the missed penalty opportunity, and no scores from either side since the first Hannah Hegarty getting that point and after the water break. No scores yet, right, from either team apart from that.
Yeah, I suppose energy and stamina now a big factor. It's been a sapping kind of a game in terms of, I suppose, the time of year and the weight of the pitch as well.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're playing on a heavy pitch, that'll definitely be eaten into the energy.
The referee's going to throw in the ball there. I suspect he's done it, in fact, and it's got really scrappy down in the corner with Clontarf fighting for possession as if their lives depended on it, and literally their championship lives do, because coming down the straight here in St Margaret's, where in fairness to the ground staff, they've managed to turn out a pitch in really good condition in spite of all the rain. There's a knock sustained there by one of the Clontarf girls as Laura Burke and Edel Nyland go in to inquire on the well-being of their colleague. All this will suit Jude's, though, breaking the Clontarf momentum and their ability to get back up the park, and really it has to be a goal now.
Yeah, if Clontarf have any chance of kind of getting back into this, they really need a goal very soon. But I have to say, both forward lines, are just looking at the team sheets here, like both full forward lines have done incredibly well for both sides. They've been very influential defensively as well. I think Jude's have managed to do well. But again, just Jude's just a little bit wasteful up front.
Yes, well, still some treatment being meted out there, but thankfully back on her feet and able to go once more. Substitute Roisin McCaffrey. The free kick, the referee's not satisfied, is he, that it was taken from the correct position? I think he's bringing it back, but clock ticking away and all those valuable seconds being gobbled up for the Clontarf girls. Very anxious moments for John Giles and his management team, but here in front of us, Pauline Doherty, who of course is
Come on.
mother of the Doherty sisters, Niamh and Laura, and the rest of the management team very satisfied indeed at how things are panning out. Jude's looking good at the moment. Gannon tough in defence. Back willing and able, ready to run and work is Hannah Hegarty.
Aisling Gannon has done very well in defence for Jude since she's come on. She's been very solid for them. Yes. Claire Gannon as well on the far side.
They're not identical, but they're very, very alike. Leah Butler very comfortable in possession since her introduction. Keen to take the game to Clontarf at every opportunity. They look for perhaps a score that would kill off this contest. Ellie Young could be the girl to provide it. Ellie Young is the girl to provide it, and the reaction on the line says all you need to know, because in terms of its value as a single score, that is a very, very important one. It's a fifth for Ellie Young, but crucially it gives them that little bit of breathing space, settles things down, and here's an opportunity to really finish it off in style. It will be finished off in style, and it is Hannah Begley once more. Hat-trick hero Begley steals the show for the girls from St Jude's, and they are going to go a step further than they did last year. It's cruel, and in terms of an outcome, really rough justice on poor old Rachel Smith, but when kickouts go wrong, there's no hiding place for a keeper.
No, absolutely. And look, this is something where Jude's have capitalised on this game. They've done very well in pinning in her kickouts. Hannah Begley again did very well to win that, and there's no denying her one-on-one where that was going to end up. Like, that's her third goal of the game. Like, fantastic stuff from Hannah.
Well, she took one with a punch in the first half. She took the second with a soccer-style finish along the ground. On that one, she showed all her skills, rounding the keeper and tapping it home from the hand, as it were. Great skill from Hannah Begley. 3 goals in a county final. Any day of the week is a satisfactory outcome, but she's delivered it with style and panache, and she's been part of a really slick inside line that have functioned well here this afternoon.
Yeah, they've all worked very well together. Herself and Ellie Young have been kind of standout players in the forward line. Hannah Hegarty working really well, and the work rate from Clean and Nicoletti as well has been fantastic.
Laura Martinez getting an opportunity to finish out the game on the field of play. The last 2 minutes of normal time here as the sun peeps out again in North Dublin. Aeroplanes flying overhead as we are on the fringes of the airport. Here's Isabel Finnegan. She's given it inside unselfishly. There's to be a goal for Clontarf. No, cruelly Grace Smith is blocked, and Ciara O'Connor unable to capitalise on the rebound. Well, that was a wonderful save, because it appeared as if Grace Smith had only to tap it to the net. Somehow Aoife McAuliffe got her body in the way and managed to deny the opportunity. Here goes Ellie Young in full flow. Great stuff, and a great interception by Roban.
Yeah, it's a fantastic save from Aoife McAuliffe there.
Did ever so well, and it may have been little more than a consolation score for the Clontarf girls, but still the keeper wasn't prepared to let another one by her this afternoon. Good ball over the top to Finnegan. She's going to go at the goal, is she? No, giving it off to O'Connor. She does. That is a rasper of a goal. She's been threatening to do that all day. That's a personal tally of 1-3 for the full forward, who really has been excellent, as Aoife Walsh is reintroduced from the sin bin, and also getting an opportunity is Jess Collins to come into the action. Well, interestingly, Jess Collins as the management team give the opportunity to their hard-working and committed squad, for as many of them as possible, to see game time. And we are now in the dying moments of this contest, with Jude's comfortably in front. 3-11 to Clontarf's 2-7.
Fair play to Clontarf, like I'm saying, they just didn't give up. That's 2 goal chances now that they're after creating. Obviously, Aoife Call making a fantastic save first time round, but second time round, Ciara O'Connor putting it away was well finished. They just haven't given up in this game.
Absolutely not. No less than you'd expect. While they did lose to St Jude's in the group side, they've had an otherwise pretty unblemished campaign, beating Raheny and Temple Oak Sing Street, defeated Scully Conal in the semi-final. And they're not taking their foot off the gas in the dying moments here, but that pass was misdirected towards Niamh Kerr. Here's the goal scorer just moments ago, Ciara O'Connor. Look where she is. Pass intercepted by Hannah Hegarty. Who else? To the other Hannah, the 3-goal hero, Begley. Shows her physical strength as well to shake off the tackle. She's not only a finisher par excellence, but she can win her own ball and fight her own battles out there too. This is really composed by the Jude's girls. Strong play from Lauren Carney, who won that penalty. Well, Ellie Young may have nightmares about the penalties, but the end justifies the means. 5 points in this final, and an all-action, powerful display from the 18-year-old full forward. Poked forward by Maeve Walsh. Isabel Finnegan's going right to the end also. And the vastly experienced Caroline Roban getting involved. O'Connor. Still O'Connor, she has goal on her mind. She'll shoot from distance here if she gets a chance, but it's gone cruelly into the area. Appeals for a penalty. It was never going to be given. The ref's going to have a quick word with his umpire to see if there was potentially a trip. Well, the ball was lashed in there by Ciara O'Connor, but it had neither the power nor the direction to really trouble the keeper, but he is giving a penalty. He is giving a penalty, and well, with 7 points between the sides, it's purely cosmetic in terms of the scoreboard, but it's the 3rd penalty of a pretty dramatic junior final here in Dublin this afternoon.
Yeah, we've had plenty of goal chances in this game. Be interesting now to see how Isabel Finnegan does stepping up to this. Probably no more than Constellation Cup she does, but in fairness, I have to say the work rate from Clontarf have been very good in the second half.
Here we go. Oh, it's a wonderful save. Strong left hand, low to her left from the keeper, Aoife McAuliffe. Wow, that one will go into the scrapbook. That is 2 virtuoso saves from the keeper in the last 7 minutes alone. Absolutely superb. The penalty was well struck, but oh my, what a save.
Very well taken penalty, but geez, I have to say, it's I think it is very well to get down there to left hand. Fantastic stuff, but I have to say credit to St Jude's. Very great performance, very experienced, and you know they were very clinical up well and very well. Some it was a lot of missed opportunities, but in terms to still get a score line of 3-11, having missed 2 penalties and left a lot of scores behind them, but very impressive performance. I think Clontarf will take a lot of confidence from this game. They're a very young side, you know. And I think, like I said, their attitude in this to not give up, to create a couple of goal chances towards the end there. But fair play to Jude's.
They say you have to lose one to win one, and they did that and did it last year. But this afternoon, I suppose, when you have a full forward line of Morris, Young and Begley with 3 goals, Ellie Young with points, to make her final tally 5. And then a keeper in the sort of form that Aoife McAuliffe was in. And interesting to note that a lot of the subs ran to celebrate with her because her penalty save moments ago is fresh in the memory, but she had a strong match too.
Yeah, that was a fantastic save there to finish off the game. As well, Hannah Hegarty in the middle of the park as well, a very experienced player, and she kind of drove it on from the middle.
Well, it's a memorable afternoon for the Jude's girls. Bitter disappointment for Clontarf, but given the age profile of many of this squad and the fact that there's so much going on in the club, it is the Clontarf B side. So much opportunity for promotion, progression of careers within that club, that things bode well for both sides for the future. So for Jude's, it's obviously a trip up to the intermediate ranks is a given now. They have to do it, don't they?
Yeah, they'll be up now in intermediate. Will be interesting battles now. We'll be looking forward to playing them now next year. But Clontarf, like I said, they'll take a lot of confidence from this game. It just wasn't to be today, but again, they're a very young side. I think as for them, they have a great future ahead of them.
I didn't see Mick Bohan here, but I'm sure that he has eyes on the game or is potentially watching it on Dubs TV this afternoon. He'll be given a little some names that might go into his notebook potentially from this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Mick's definitely one to always be keeping an eye on what's happening around the club scene and keeping an eye on kind of younger players that are up and coming.
Yes, indeed. Well, the full-time whistle has sounded. Our match official, Ray McBride, bringing a curtain on proceedings, and St Jude's are indeed the Dublin Club Junior champions for this particular year. Credit to them and their backroom team. For Clontarf B, there will be other years, but the final scoreline here on this Dublin Club final is St Jude's 3-11, Clontarf 2-7.
Thank you. Oh, Jesus, Emily, how are you? Where's Ernie? I can't believe you came up playing. I know. Oh, thank you. Hello. How are you? It's nice to have a little crew of supporters up.
Congratulations to both teams for the knowledge they were able to display their conditions were not exactly ideal with the in fairness to St Margarets when they were asked to give us the pitch or all the pitches were not available. They were very generous and hence there were matches going ahead here today, so really thanks to St Margarets. with no match takes place without a team of officials. So we'll register Ray and the lads that are with him. I think it was easy enough to do now, Ray, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. But in fairness, you did a good job. And as usual, we like to acknowledge the referees who have taken charge of our final say. Every year I say I'm responsible for lots of things in Dublin Ladies Board, but I'm never responsible for selecting the player of the match. So please don't give up to me. You're right to be done many things. I give up to myself in here. I've done many things, but not this one. So number 11 from St Jude's, Leah Butler. Before I ask the St Jude's captain to step forward and accept the trophy, it would be remiss of me not to acknowledge and thank Paul McLaughlin, Patricia Monahan and Mary O'Connor for all the work they put into getting to an incredible fixtures calendar this year and for getting us to this stage of the season more or less with every match that we had planned to be played at this stage being played. So I really huge thanks to Paul McLaughlin for all his work with Patricia and so forth. So really great today. So without further ado, if we have a captain there, we
I'll be ready as well. Yeah, is that what you do? Just dress like?
Thank you.